Hello everyone, my name is Kian Andrei Alcantara from BSBA 3C and I'm one of the reporters of group number 2. I have a question for all of you. What are the factors that can drastically affect the organization or company? And how those factors can predetermine the company's future? And are those factors are significant even though our world is ever changing nowadays? Let's talk about that in chapter 3. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Be ready and take some notes as you listen to the following reporters. Okay, let's talk about the big three: GM, Ford, and Chrysler. They dominated the US car market throughout most of the 20th century, having enjoyed protection behind high entry barriers. GM once held more than 50 US market share and was highly profitable over the decades until about 1980s. Ford and Chrysler both also did well during this period. However, as the competition in the industry became increasingly global, foreign makers entered the US market. At first, mainly by importing vehicles from overseas. For example, Yamaha is another company that come from outside the US and entered the US market. Our story begins in the late 90s. Groundbreaking electrical car called EV1 quickly drew a loyal and hardworking following, but the spark behind GM's first EV1 ended abruptly. In 2003, electrical was discontinued and cancelled by GM. The automaker claimed there was not enough market in the demand to keep the EV1 dream car alive. Okay, this where our subject comes. Tesla. Okay, when you hear Tesla, what comes into your mind? Maybe cars or electric cars, famously, and Elon Musk, and many more. But how can you describe Tesla? For me, it is futuristic, innovative, and beyond expectation. Okay, let's continue our story. EV1 inspired the creation of Tesla Motors in 2003 to Silicon Valley engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpon, and they sold their ebook business for $187 million and start Tesla to build a greener car for the future. Elon Musk joined as an early investor, leading the series, a financing, and taking on several other roles as well. Tesla's plan was simple but potentially genius. If you combine the three, Tesla's goals are ambitious and the company's strategy is even considered naive by some. But Elon Musk and Tesla, if they can perfect the building of the machine that builds the car, I have no doubt they will be the future of cars. Okay, let's talk about the co-founder, CEO, and product architect of Tesla, Elon Musk, a company formed in 2003 that is dedicated to producing affordable mass-market electric cars, as well as battery products and solar roofs or solar panel. Musk oversees all product development, engineering, and design of the product. Look at that. What a talented guy. And genius. Our main topic, it's about Pestel framework, chapter 3.1. Okay, let's talk about this. A firm's external environment consists of all the forces that can affect its potential to gain and sustain a competitive advantage. By analyzing the forces in the external environment, managers can mitigate threats and leverage opportunities. Okay, take note on that. One common approach to understanding how external forces impinge upon a firm is to consider the source or proximity of these forces. For example, external forces in firm's general environment are ones that managers have a little direct influence, such as macroeconomic, the wide range economic. In contrast, external factors in firm's task environment are ones the manager do some influence over, such as composition or strategic groups. It is composed in the inside of the organization or company. Okay, let's see the Pestel model. Groups the forces in the firm's general environment into six segments: political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, ecological, and legal, which together form the acronym Pestel. Okay, let's talk about first political and legal factors. The political environment describes the process and action of the government bodies that can influence the decision and behavior of the firms. Governments, for example, can affect firm performance by exerting political pressure on companies. There's like deadline. If they have a project for you, they can pressure you on their deadline. You must submit that or else they will take action. Okay, the next one, the legal environment, captures the official outcomes of political process as manifested in laws. Okay, law, mandates, regulations, and court decision, all of which can have a direct bearing on firms' profit and potential. In fact, regulatory changes tend to affect entire industry. Oh, look at that. At once, taken together, political and legal environment can have a direct bearing on a firm's performance. Government often combine political and legal factors to achieve desired changes in consumer behavior. As you can see, government is taking action how they can control the consumer behavior. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Economic factors in a firm's external environment are largely macroeconomic, affecting economy-wide phenomena. Managers need to consider how the following 5 macroeconomics factors can affect firm strategy. First, growth rates. The overall economic growth rate is a measure of change in amount of goods and services produced by nation's economy. Yes, that is the availability of the goods and services. Okay, the next one, interest rates. Another key macroeconomic variable for managers to track is interest rates. The amount that savers are paid for use of their money and the amount that borrowers pay for that use. Yes, we need to track that because in time, the interest may go up. Okay, let's proceed to the next. Level of employment. The state of the economy directly affect the level of employment. In boom times, unemployment is low and skilled human capital becomes a scarce and more expensive resource. Okay, next. Price stability, inflation, and deflation. The lack of change in price levels of goods and services is very rare. Therefore, companies will often have to deal with changing price level, which is a direct function of the amount of money in any economy. As you can see, price varies from place to place. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Currency exchange rate. The currency exchange rate determines how many dollars one must pay for a unit of foreign currency. It is a critical variable for any company that either buys or sells products and services across nations. The currency exchange rate, we all know, we are familiar with that. For example, estimately 50 pesos here is a $1 in the US, estimately. Now we proceed to another factors in the Pestel framework. Social cultural factor capture a society's culture, norms, and values, because social cultural forces not only are constantly in flux but also differ across groups. Managers need to closely monitor such trend and consider the implication for firm strategy. In recent years, for example, growing number of US consumers have become more health conscious about what they eat. That's an example. For example, many US citizens prefer to be vegans or vegetarians. Okay, demographic trends are also important sociocultural forces. These trends capture population characteristics related to age, gender, family size, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, and socio-economic class. Yes, we must know our target consumer and what they want and what they need. Of course. Okay, let's talk about another factor in the Pestel framework. Okay, technological factors capture the application of knowledge to create new processes and products. Recent innovation in process technology include lean manufacturing, Six Sigma quality, and biotechnology. The nanotechnology revolution, which is just beginning, promises major upheaval for a vast array of industry, ranging from tiny medical devices to new age material for earthquake-resistant buildings. Not surprisingly, changes in the technological environment bring both opportunities and threats for the companies. Yes, we must keep up to date on the state-of-the-art technology to further advance our knowledge and skills. Okay, the last but not the least, ecological factors. Ecological factors concern a broad environmental issues such as the natural environment, global warming, and sustainable economic growth. Organization and the natural environment coexist in an interdependent relationship. Managing this relationship in a responsible and sustainable way directly influence the continued existence of human societies and the organization we create. The relationship between organization and the natural environment does not necessarily need to be in conflict. However, ecological factors can also provide business opportunities. What are those business opportunities? The paper market. The paper comes from the natural environment, from trees. That's what one of the business opportunities we can get in the natural environment. So, we must preserve it. Okay, that's the last one. I hope you listen very carefully and take some notes. Thank you. I'm Kian Andrei Alcantara from BSBA 3C. Thank you.